Now, when we first met, you were at Towcester Dogs, and I understand you also still quite active dog betting. So do you punt in other ways, and that actually make it pay to add to the income from the in running?
Yeah, I punt at Towcester. I have done for the last 18 months now. I make a few quid at that. It helps in terms of taking the pressure off the in running when it's in the winter. Yeah, I mean, really to be, because me mum was so into the dogs. That's where my heart lies, to be honest, the dogs. But I do love the racing. But yeah, I've been do the videos at Towcester, and with some modicum of success, I would say.
So would you always go to the track there and bet with the on-course bookies, or did you sit at home and watch it and punt with online bookies or telephone bookies?
No, it's Towcester now race 4 times a week. It's usually Friday evening at home on RPG TV, as it is on Sunday. Saturday mornings is usually on at the races, so it's usually Betfair those mornings, with the odd time. Well, the firms price up. I think Bet365 price up every race, as does Paddy Power, and then the other firms follow later on in the day. But you just can't get on. It's just impossible. You might last for a week basically.
So how do you get around that?
Well, I bet on obviously Betfair. I've got a Betfair account, and BetDAC as well, which isn't too bad for the dogs. It's just impossible, you got to, without trying to drop, you got to get people to do things for you, try and punt dogs for you, but they know, they suss you out within time. So there's a lot of family members I've had who've had accounts for me to bet dogs, but and the best of it is, I think the biggest bet I've had at Towcester is 150 quid on a dog, in all the time I've been there. I'm sort of not a big player. I know there'll be plenty of people say, I've had this conversation with another guy who says you should be having more on your naps, which he's probably right. But A, it frustrates me when I can't get on, and B, it just suits me what I'm doing. I'm ticking over, really, I suppose.
So what you said you can't get on, would that be with the on-course bookies, or?
The on-course are okay. Certainly at Towcester, I mean, the Derby is just, the Derby at Towcester is just off the scale. I know a lot of people are slating me for this, but I think it's the best track in the country. I love the place. During the Derby, it's ridiculous. When Ben turns up, the atmosphere, he has a right go, takes bets. It's just great. But obviously then you get the reality of a dark Saturday night when there's about 3 people there. You can get what you like on at Towcester. You can, if you want a monkey on a dog, you would, not that I ever would, but you'd get a monkey on, no problem at all. I would say it's a very strong market. I don't know how the betting percentages are to other tracks, but you would get on a fair bet there, no doubt.
So aren't you more rather than messing around getting people to put your bets on, wouldn't it be better just to go up there, or would that interfere too much with your in running elsewhere?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but obviously, I mean, at the moment, at Towcester, I'm, as a punter, I look and I see dogs, say if usually my base price is 2 to 1 anyway. I won't bet a dog under 2 to 1. But you'll see a dog trading at 6 to 4 at the track, and it's like 3.2 on Betfair. I don't know, they've got a remit to bet to a certain percentages, the book is there, which, listen, they got to make a living as well, and I got no issue with that. It's just that it doesn't really suit me to punt. Now, I would like to go there, I'd like to go there every meeting and punt, that would suit me, but it's just unfortunate I can't, I think.
Now, we were talking before we did this interview, and you got a few strong opinions about some of the way Betfair treat their customers, and you said you'd quite happily talk about that. Are you still interested in talking about that?
Yeah, no problem. I think it's like everything in this country. See it with the England football team. We get them up, to when they get knocked out, all of a sudden, it was rubbish. with Betfair, they come along with all these great ideas. We're for the man in the street and all that. Which, listen, no one can deny that they've changed a lot of people's lives round for the better. Listen, they've given me 15 great years of my life, and I wouldn't change anything. But I think they really, the thing was, we've got to put these premium charges on people because we want more people to do. We got to entice more people into the in-running game. Well, I would say the liquidity. I would be interested to see, since they made that statement, how much the liquidity has changed. I don't think it's either it hasn't worked or they've just basically, I don't know, ripped people off, I think.
So do you think eventually the premium charge and the way that successful punters are treated on exchanges could be the end of successful punters?
Absolutely. I mean, the one thing I've learnt in doing the in-running, which, listen, hindsight's always the greatest thing in the world, but really, you've got to make a killing when you can, and that's the long and short of it. If you find something good, you smash into it and you really give it. Because it's only going to be good for so long, because they will definitely, in the end, rail you in, I suppose. Yeah.
So how do you keep one step ahead?
Very difficult. I suppose just on intuition. You've just got to go with what you think. If you think something's right, you do it. If you don't, then you listen. I'm not. There's absolutely thousands and thousands of things I've done wrong. Funny enough, I watched on Racing UK something, a Richard Hughes interview, talking about all the horses he had ridden at Royal Ascot, and he came out with a statement, and I thought, Jesus, not that I was a Richard Hughes fan. I was never afraid to lose on any horse he rode, and I think you've got to be like that with the punting. The day you say to yourself, well, I can't afford to lose this, I can't afford it, is the day then you got to think to yourself, well, hang on a minute, because you're believing the horse is going to win like he's riding, or the dog you're going to bet is going to win.
Now, you're a married man with a family. How do you balance family life with what must be an extremely stressful at times career, professional gambling?
Family is everything to me. Is my wife. I'm ridiculously lucky to have found somebody like her, an amazing person. She don't understand the gambling. When I first got with her, she tried to explain to her family what I did, and they said, "Oh, Punter, then he's going to be no good," which I agree with them. That they think not Lowe's no good, but I agree. That's a reaction. But when I took her to Towcester one day, actually on the jumps, and it was Boxing Day. The first day I went racing to show her what I did in running, and it was quite a sad day actually, because the first race there was a mare of Alan King's, and it was unbeaten, and it fell 2 out and lost its life, and we had to be stood right by the owner of it, an old lady, and her granddaughter, and she was in floods of tears. Now I always remember that. But Anne, my wife, saw what I did. She saw that it wasn't just a case of me going to the track, having a laugh with the lads. Well, I do have a laugh with the lads, but going to the track, it's work. She's totally behind me, every single thing I've suggested. Some things she might say, "Oh, I don't know about that, John, you might want to have another think about that." Just phenomenal lady for me, in terms of leveling me, really. And my son Matthew, he's, I don't have to worry about, she looks after Matt, but she looks after both of us. I think the success of the in-running is a lot down to both of them. It's great to come home, Matthew's there, and Anne's waiting. She always says, always ring on the way home. She always say to me, "You don't need to say any more, I know how you've gone," from the first sentence. So, yeah. Also, my dad as well is a massive influence, and I would say my dad, Anne, and Scott, who's been with me most of my working life, is, you know, they are the three influences, as in work and helping me through the rough times, which inevitably you're gonna. But you know, we have. I try and make sure that I don't get many days off, but when I do, I always do something with Anne and Matthew. Be it go to the pub for lunch, a day at Western on the beach or something, or we go somewhere. But the days off are few and far between, unfortunately.
Now, there must have been several times where you've hit absolutely rock bottom. How many times have you thought, right, I'm turning this in?
Funny enough, a few weeks back, I said to Anne, we've got ourselves not set for life. That's nowhere near. But I started off with 300 quid when I did the in running before I was with Anne, and we've got, you know, Anne's got a few quid saved. We've got a few quid saved for Matthew. I've got a little bit, not a lot to be going on with, but I said, you know what, we could just leave the life of a normal person, get a job, and you know, and just do whatever. But the voice of reasoning come again, Anne, and she said, well, you know, let's go through, let's have a look at your figures, because she never says that. She just leaves it all to me. As far as she's concerned, I deal with all that. But when I'm at a low, this is what I'm saying about how good she is. And she said, well, you've earned X amount of pounds at Towcester, you've earned X amount of pounds in running, where are you going to get a job like that? And she was right.
So in 10 years' time, you're going to be sat here telling me the same thing?
I don't know, the crystal ball. Do you know what? In 10 years' time, the one thing I would like to be is still as happy as I am now with Anne and Matthew, which I think we will be. I think that's more important to me than anything. As regards work, who knows? I mean, I loved working at the races. I worked for Mark at the races for a long time. That was great years of my life, and Mark was a fantastic tutor, as it were, as well as a boss. Although he was good at dishing out the bollockins as well on occasions. But yeah, he was good, Mark, very good. I don't know whether I'd want to go down that road, or even maybe a pitch at a dog track, maybe Towcester, which I don't think I'll get, but you know, something like that I'd be interested in, to be honest.
And finally, any regrets?
Many regrets, but you know, I think the thing is, you gotta look forward to the future. You can look back at regrets and beat yourself up, which I do occasionally. There's certainly things I would change, but you know, life is about the now and the future, and I think you've gotta look forward instead of backwards.
Thank you very much.